Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Hello, second grade. Happy Friday. We made it. My name is Mrs. Vang, and I'm so excited that you're able to join me so that we can become amazing readers and writers. And remember, this week might look a little bit different, but because we're going to focus on writing this week, because it might be a review week for your teacher, but next week we'll go back to our regular routine of learning to become amazing readers. Now, all week I've been sharing stories with you that had writing in it because our focus for writing this week was friendly letter. Today, I wanted to share a book called Flat Stanley. Now, they do have a new cover for Flat Stanley, so if you notice that yours doesn't look like this, it's okay, boys and girls. And I love reading the Flat Stanley books. Now, what's nice about these Flat Stanley books is that this is a story about Stanley who becomes flat when a bulletin board falls on him. And because he's flat, he has lots of different adventures. And guess what? One adventure that he has is when his parent, they folded him up and put him in an envelope and sent him to California to visit his friend instead of writing a letter to his friend. Isn't that funny? Oh, Flat Stanley has so many adventures. So try to find the story on Sora and read all about Stanley's adventure as a flat boy. So let's continue with our focus on grammar and writing this week. So remember, all week we talked about different types of sentences, right? And using capitals and punctuation to match those type of sentences. We also learned about complete sentences, and we said a complete sentence has a subject good. Subject is who or what, and it has a predicate, is what or did what. And when you have both of them, we can say it makes a complete sentence. Good job, boys and girls. Now today, I'm going to show you we're going to be learning about expanding and combining sentences. Again, all of these grammar lessons, I want you guys to use them in your writing to make your writing better. So what does expanding mean? So expanding means we're making it longer. You're right. So we're going to add more details to the subject or the predicate to make our sentence better, or what I used to call them in my class, big juicy sentences, right? We wanted to make it so that I can visualize what I am reading. So as you're writing, think about the type of sentence you're writing, and if it doesn't give you a good visual, then try to add in more details to the subject or the predicate. Now, sometimes our sentences can be too much sentences, and that's when we can combine them together. So today, we're also going to be learning how to combine sentences that has the same subject and predicate, okay? Because we want one nice, long, big, juicy sentence, not a lot of small sentences together. And when there's a lot of small sentences together, we can combine them. So let's practice. Ready? Here's my first sentence. It says, the boy rides the bike. Now, I do have a pretty good visual in my head of a boy riding his bike, but look what happens when I expand it. I'm going to add details to this sentence, and I want to see if you can visualize all the new details that I'm adding. So if I said, let me take this down. If I said, the little boy rides the red bike, does that make a better picture in your head? It does. So now I know it was a little boy, and I know that his bike was red. So that's an example of expanding our sentence to make them nice, big, juicy sentences. Now, my next sentence says, Jamie washes the dishes. Abby washes the dishes. Now, those are two shorter sentences, but did you notice something? Yeah, they're both doing the same thing. So our predicate is the same. What are they doing? They're both washing the dishes. And so what I can do is combine the sentence into one nice long sentence. So here's how I'm going to do it. And let's see if you guys can figure out what I did. So here's my new sentence. It's going to say, Jamie, oh, let me tape this and I'll get out of the way. Let's do this again. Jamie and Abby washes the dishes. Did you see what I did there? Yes, I combined my subject. So because Jamie and Abby were both washing the dishes, I can say Jamie and Abby. Oh, and guess what? Washes the dishes does not make sense, does it? No, because now that there are two of them, I want to say Jamie and Abby wash the dishes. Good job, boys and girls. Remember, last week we talked about self-correction, and we talked about how if we're reading and something doesn't make sense, we fix it. And so as I was reading, I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense. So we are going to change it to wash. Jamie and Abby wash the dishes. And that's how we combine our sentence together. So as we are going into our writing and writing a friendly letter, I want you to think about all of the grammar lessons that we have learned this week. Now, as we move into our friendly letter, I just want to remind us, because all week we've been working with our friendly letter. What is the purpose of a friendly letter? Why are you writing? To say hello to a friend, to tell someone something interesting that happened, to share a memory, to say thank you. Your features of a friendly letter. How do you know this is a friendly letter and not a story? It has its heading and a greeting. It uses a friendly tone. It shares ideas and events of families or friends, and it has a closing or a signature, or what we like to call the five letter writing parts, right? And then we share the rubric, right? This is what your teacher is looking for. So as we write, we want to keep these writing traits in mind so that we are writing to earn a score of 4. And then we went into our writing process. Remember our writing process? And we said when we are writing, we're going to pre-write. That's just setting the purpose and getting all of our ideas out. So we did a brainstorming web, right? I took Jesse's brainstorming web and I shared that with you. And then yesterday, I shared his writing with you. And today, we are going to continue to revise his writing and we're going to edit today. So remember our revise and edit check list. Let's just quickly go over our list. So when we revise, we were looking for the complete writing part. Does he have all 5 parts in it? We were looking for sentences that expresses ideas and thoughts and the purpose of the letter, and that the letters was smooth and as if a person was talking. Today, so we're going to continue finishing up on revising, and then today we're going to also work on editing. And boys and girls, editing is just checking it's all the mechanical parts of it. We're going to check for your spellings. We're going to check for capitalization. We're going to check for punctuation marks. We're going to check for the commas. We're going to check to see if your word is spelled correctly. So editing we're going to do in red. Okay, so let's move this aside so that we can go back into Jesse's letter. And we already said he had his heading, he had his greeting, he started his first paragraph, he indented, but then over the holiday we said was not a complete sentence. So we crossed that out, we crossed out the period, we put it together, and then as we were reading, we noticed that this was not nice and smooth in his letter because he was talking about playing in the snow, and then he went back into talking about the puzzle. But guess what? What did his grandma give him? His grandma gave him the new board and the puzzle. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna add the puzzle to the top sentence. Thank you for the new board game, and I'm gonna do my little add and puzzle. I'm just gonna add it up here so that now it's nice. So now it has a nice smooth letter writing format because it didn't need to be down here. And He just kept rambling and talking, and we don't really need all of those details, so I'm going to cross those out. Now, let's continue. We may not get to visit again. Remember, he wanted to talk about visiting. By then, we'll have no more snow. We will have fun anyways, though. You always think of a good thing to do. Thanks again, Jesse. And did you see what he forgot? He wrote his signature, which is his name, but he forgot the closing. So maybe he might want to put, because he was writing to Grandma, he might want to put love, Jesse. Okay, he forgot one part of his writing. So this is how we revise. And again, you might do this with a teacher. Now let's quickly edit. Edit was just punctuation, capitalization, periods, and spelling, right? So as we're going, and guess what? I noticed this was a new paragraph and he forgot. So here's my little symbol for paragraph. That tells me we need to indent. Again, he forgot to indent, and I'm gonna put my little symbol for paragraph so that he indents. And as I was reading, I noticed he said Wisconsin, and guess what? That's a proper noun because it's a state, so we need to capitalize it. And then as I was reading, I realized that he spelled again incorrectly, so I would circle it and spell it correctly for him. And then, again, like I saw a period, but we did not have a capital, so I'm gonna put a capital letter for him. So when you are editing, you're just looking for spelling, capitalization, and or punctuation. Okay, so, and again, you would do this with a teacher or an adult. So once we revise and edit with Jesse, he is now on his final part, a step of his writing process, which is to publish. And publish just means we're going to write a final copy of it and share his writing. So here is his final letter that he's going to send to Grandma with all of his mistakes fixed up. And guess what? When he sends it, he's going to put it in an envelope. And boys and girls, when you address an envelope, remember, always look at the back. This is the back side. We don't want to write on this side. Go to the front side. And you're going to put your return address. So it's important to know your address on the top left-hand corner, your name, the number of your street, your city, state, and zip code. And then down in the middle, you're going to put the address of who you're sending it to. Again, you're going to put their name, the number of their house, the street that they live on, the city, state, and the zip code. And boys and girls, most importantly, don't forget to put a stamp. And boys and girls, we've been learning all about letters this week, and I would love for you guys to write me a letter and tell me some of the things that you've been doing, or just a friendly hello. I will love it. So, boys and girls, I hope to get some of your letters soon. We have worked hard this week, boys and girls. Remember, next week we're going to go back to our regular routine of learning to become amazing readers. So until next time, don't say it's too hard. Just say, I can do it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.